Thank you. You know, hey, Jamaica. But the last time we had this transit was 1776, the American Revolution. We learned about it in school, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, y'all remember some of the details from that, right? What happened and what had to happen. And so we're in the same space, but the difference is now you get to see what your part in this, right? What part did you play? What are you supposed to be focusing on? What do you need to release and let go? And how we're going to make the utmost best of this in this lifetime. Okay. And then after that, after I show you guys how to find it, we're going to talk about it, like where it is in your chart, what you need to do. The class should be pretty small today. Like, I think it's like under 15 people, which gives me a little bit more time to be hands-on. So I'm not going to take a long time going through these definitions. I want you guys at this point, y'all know what Aquarius is, you know what Pluto is. And if you don't, you can go look those things up. I would much rather spend time on the aspects of this, where it is in your chart, how to interpret it, what you need to work on, versus us having to work on a lot of like basic stuff. So I'm going to run through the basics. I'm going to put that on you, and then we're going to go through the other aspects, okay? All right, so let me see. Anybody talking to me? Hi, everybody that's coming in. Glad you guys are here. We're getting ready to jump into class. I am excited. Happy New Year. I forgot I haven't seen y'all this year. It's been a whole year. It's like, y'all, Happy New Year. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm going to jump right on in. If y'all have any questions for me, please put them in the chat room so I can kind of see them. All right, share my screen. Can everybody hear me okay? Can y'all see me okay? Everybody got their charts? Thumbs? Everybody got something hot to drink or something stiff? Either one, it's going to do the same thing. You're going to need some hot, something stiff, okay? I prefer tea. I think y'all should prefer tea too. All right, let's share the screen. All right. All right, so what we're going to be going over in class today, like I just said, I'm going to say it again because I don't think I was recording. We will be discussing the definitions of Aquarius and the characteristics. We're also going to discuss the definitions of Pluto and the characteristics. We're going to go through Pluto in Aquarius, as well as the last time we had this transit, right? Meaning the last time we had this transit in as many years as we're going to have it this time, which was the American Revolution. So we're going to talk about that, some of the characteristics of that. And then we're going to get right into the most important part of this class for me and for y'all. I got to tell y'all what's going on with you specifically, okay? What you need to do with this, because we're all feeling it. We all know something major has happened in our life. This world is not the same. Like, nothing is the same, right? But it's like we're getting all these mixed signals. Like, you know, what's happening? Is it a good change? Is it a bad change? Should I be worried? Should I be financially scared? Like, what should I be thinking about? Should I be afraid for my parents? Like, it's a lot of stuff and changes going on. And with the misinformation of not knowing what's going on outside of yourself, it causes a lot of this, you know, the energy of feeling very discomfortable when it comes down to being on the inside. So we're going to get into the characteristics of all that stuff, where your placements are, your responsibilities. And so you'll know what you need to do. Okay. And then after that, y'all can ask me whatever questions y'all want. Whatever you need to ask, if it's something that we didn't discuss and you also want to bring up to discuss, we can bring those things up too. But I am going to do my best to go through this as extensively as I can because of how important that it is. Okay, so I plan to be in class no longer, maybe an hour, hour and a half. So if you guys need to jump off, if we stay on longer, I totally understand. But understand that this is important. So please make sure you come back to it. If you have to leave, come back and just watch the end of it so that you can get back onto it. And if you don't finish out the class and you don't get a chance to ask your questions when you do watch the class, please send me your questions so I can make sure that you're understanding what's going on with you and what you need to do for the next 20 years. Okay. All right. So first things first, Aquarius energy. So let's get into the characteristics of Aquarius. Okay. Dates, January 20th February 18th, okay? Sometimes February 19th, just depends on the leap year and how the energy rolls, okay? Understand the energy is always moving. So sometimes these dates may change one day forward or one day backwards, but it's just because how the degrees are changing, and they're never at the exact same degree every year, okay? Aquarius energy has everything to do with being the water bearer. Please, if you happen to run into people and they tell you that Aquarius is a water sign, please help them, okay? Please explain to them why they see water around Aquarius, because I've run into too many people in my life that be like, what sign are you? The best water sign ever? And I'm like, which one is that? Aquarius? No, you're not. That is not. And don't let an Aquarius hear you say this too, because they will beat you up, okay? So check people when you hear them say that. All right, ruling planets for Aquarius is Uranus and Saturn, okay? The Uranus part of Aquarius is where the rebellious energy sits. So when things need to be pushed up against, or, you know, I don't need to do, listen, when it comes down to being different and eclectic, and sometimes word weird may come up. These are all the things that goes along with Uranus. Therefore, there are also energies that go along with the energy of Aquarius. The other part of it is Saturn, which is discipline. Okay, so a lot of people feel like Aquarius are not disciplined people, and they are, right? When they have something that they need to be disciplined about, something that they are motivated about, something that they love and care about, cherish, they will. And usually that exists in family, right? The children, right? These close relationships, these close bonds, they do find ways to be very disciplined, which is doing what they need to do. So Aquarius energy, even though it can be rebellious on the Uranus side, or very futuristic and out there and far out, it is also very in alignment and will do what it needs to do in order to get things done. Okay. The area that Aquarius rules is the 11th house. Okay. So that house is the area of friendships, also the areas of community development, or working with the communities, or working with people to get us to understand that we are all one. So that whole concept of we are the world, that is Aquarius, okay? It is about we all matter, okay? So now you're seeing how a lot of this energy is starting to move into, as we solidify into this age, what does that actually mean, right? So when we start to think about things like, you know, transgender energy, right? That means everybody matters, right? So whether or not you agree or disagree doesn't really matter. What matters is the fact that we have a level of empathy and sympathy towards things that we may not understand. Why am I using that word? Because the main key word that is associated with Aquarius is understanding, that they need to be understood. There's a need and a thirst and a please understand, right? So even if you don't, even get into the space of understanding that you can say, hey, I don't understand, but the judgment, I'm not here to judge, right? Is whatever it needs to be. I'm just here for the experience. That energy, right? Not being misunderstood is very, very important when it comes down to dealing with the Aquarius energy. And understand that we all have Aquarius energy. So even though, you know, most of the people that carry this Aquarius energy have a lot of Aquarius in their chart, everybody experiences some form of Aquarius energy in their chart. All right. The element is air. The mode is fixed. Now, this is the reason why when we start to talk about Pluto moving into Aquarius, the energy is also going to affect your other fixed signs. Because if it affects one area of a fix, it's the whole thing, right? So when we talk about fixed, we're talking about the other signs that also carry that same mode, okay? So the other signs that carry the mode of fixed energy along with Aquarius is the polar opposite energy of Aquarius, which is Leo, as well as the energy of Taurus and the energy of Scorpio, okay? So those are the other areas within the chart that are going to exist when we start to talk about characteristics that this energy can show up, okay? The key word that's associated with Aquarius is network or community, or, you know, think about it like a hive, right? It's like we all matter. If this pod connects to that, pod connects to that, pod connects to that. So it is a network, or what I like to call a neuron system, right? Or if you think about how the neurons work in the mind, right? Or how they fire off. You see how when one hit, boom, it go off and hit the other one. That's exactly how the Aquarius energy works. It works in a network, okay? All right, moving to the next one. So some of the other things I just want you to kind of take in take notes of or keep in mind as you are working through this Aquarius energy is also like the colors and the stones that goes along with it. So if you find yourself struggling through the Aquarius season or through the 20 years of dealing with this Aquarius dynamic, these are these are elements that can help you to deal with this, okay? Which is colors, wearing green, wearing black, wearing blues. And it could be arrays of these colors, okay? The lucky stones that deals with the Aquarius energy, amber, onyx, and zircon. There's other ones as well. These are just some of the basic ones that they have on here. Some of the characteristics to keep in mind that may trigger you as you're dealing with this, or things to be aware of inside of yourself so that you know that you're on this vibration, is dealing with these things, right? So when you feel like you're being called to work for a humanitarian cause, right? When you feel like, I need to do more, I need to go and volunteer my time, right? That's the Aquarius energy. I want to go do something for the kids, or do something, especially if it's for the kids or for the elders, or for like animals. Oh, that's all Aquarius energy. Okay, it's going to put his energy in that space. Why? Because it knows that if it puts his energy into children, kids are going to give you what you give back. Okay, it knows if it puts it into animals, that is nature, right? Aquarius loves dealing with nature, because when it gets tired of dealing with people, it's like, I'm going to nature, right? That famous saying, people suck, I don't deal with people, right? But then on the other end is, I like people, right? So it's that back and forth thing. But when it's not dealing with people, it's dealing with nature. And nature exists in forms of dealing with animals, talking to birds, nurturing fish, things like this, okay? Being communicative, individuality, right? Not wanting to do something different. I don't want to do this way, right? I want to do it that way. That is all energy that goes along with that, okay? Some of the other positive words, or some of the other keywords that goes into it, is also like friendly, reformative. Some of the other words that can show up when you're operating the negative side of the Aquarius energy can be emotionally detached, or not wanting to deal with people and not wanting to deal with anything. Also scatterbrain energy, having so many things going at once, not finishing anything. So just like you're all over the place, or even feeling like some levels of brain fog, or some levels of spacing energy, wanting to space out, not wanting to be present, right? Those are all things that let you know that you're doing too much, or you're overworking the Aquarius energy in you, okay? Or feeling or doing things that are irresponsible. Like I told you, Aquarius love the Saturn dynamic. It loves getting things done. So when it starts to get into over rebellious energy and being way too irresponsible, it is out of balance. And that's not where it needs to be. That's not where it wants to be either, okay? All right. Now, some of the energy for those of us who say, I don't got no Aquarius in my chart, ain't none there. Yes, you do. Okay. It's everywhere in that chart. But if you just want to kind of keep it simple, right? These are some of the things that can help you, just if you want to embody your sun sign perspective, to understand how to embody the inner Aquarius energy. So if it's the Aries, if you're Aries perspective, or you like to claim more of your Aries, then one of the ways in which you can embody your Aquarius energy during this season is just taking your passion to a cause. Okay. Why are we saying passion? Because Aries is passion and cause is Aquarius. So it's mixing those two elements together. Okay. Your Taurus, you can use this in your Taurus placements, or you can use this in your Taurus energy if you are Taurus, trying out a new way of doing things. Why? Because Taurus gets fixed and gets stuck. Don't want to do nothing. Don't want to move. Okay. So this is making a way, or asking yourself to do some things differently. Okay. The Gemini aspect, starting trends. Okay. But not following them. So being okay with challenging some things and saying, I want to do some things different. Okay. Cancer energy, soaking up some solitude, taking care of yourself. The Cancer, no matter where it is in your chart, is the one who is nurturing everybody and everything. And because it is, it's also the space where we have all the water signs, no matter where you have water in your chart, but especially from the baby part, the Cancer, is where sometimes you tend to nurture other people more than you nurture yourself. Okay. Leo, become your own muse, right? Start to spend more time with being in the mirror and being what you need to be for yourself, instead of constantly wanting to see it outside of yourself or judging it outside of yourself. Turn into that thing, okay? Virgo, working on being more comfy with the uncomfy, Why? Because Virgo is irritated. You irritated me. We working on this. Why do you not understand? We're working on this. So it's understanding that the part of the Virgo energy that means work means being uncomfortable because you got to learn to work with it. Okay. This is what it is. All right. Libra energy, standing up for what's right versus always going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Or what they say when you on this side talking to this person, you on this side, but then when this person come in, then you on this side, right? Because you want to keep the peace. But sometimes keeping the peace is not the right option. Gotta sometimes make the choice. So sometimes the Libra energy, you gotta understand that indecision is the worst thing that you can do. Okay. So having a choice or making sure that you are standing up for what you know is right is the best thing that you can do in your Aquarius energy. Scorpio, bringing your inner world into the outer world, okay? Because Scorpio is all this passion on the inside and me and mine and my family and I'm doing this, right? So it's embodying that energy and keeping that, but also allowing other people to see how you are changing and transforming. Okay, Sagittarius, applying your sense of adventure inwardly. So instead of it being always having to travel or feeling the need to travel, now Aquarius is always getting out of here in the brain. It quickly escaping. Okay, so it's you learning how the fact that you don't need a car or a plane or a boat to get out of here. And Aquarius will show you that quicker than they because sit in the room with them and they don't want to be in the room with you. And watch how much they escape. You'll be having a whole conversation with them and they are not with you. Okay, they have traveled somewhere else in their mind. So you can do this without needing physical things to do that. Capricorn, add a dash of innovation to the tried and true. Okay, so Capricorn's already pretty much have it together. So it just like get out of the rigid, you know what I'm saying? So just a little bit extra pop pizzazz to that structure just makes it a little bit more inventional or make it a little bit more in the future, which adds that Aquarius dynamic. Aquarius, just be you this season, okay? Just be you, more of that, okay? And come out of hiding. That's the biggest thing because you love to hide. So this is the season that a lot of pressure is being pushed on the Aquarius dynamics because everything is shifting into this age and it's solidifying. So you're here because you are a part of making this age shift. You have a lot of responsibility right now for the next 20 years, but it's responsibility that you asked for and it's going to be easy for you. So even though it sounds like it's a lot, when you get into the flow of understanding that it is your time and you've been waiting on this time period, you'll ease into it. And when you ease into it, the momentum kicks in, okay? Pisces, dreaming up a better world. So just stay in the dream, right? Don't be afraid to be in the dream, but make sure that you including everybody, right? Not just you and who the ones you want to help, the whole totality of everybody, not just you and your family, everybody. How can we all change, okay? All right. Let's move on. Next aspect, Pluto, okay? We think about Pluto. Pluto is the energy of death, power, transformation, and evolution, okay? So anytime we're dealing with Pluto, this is the theme and discussion, right? Why? Because Pluto wants to make sure that you get what you came here to get. So in order for it to do that, sometimes it has to push you and it has to force you, you know what I'm saying, to get there. Why? Because if not, you will stay in your fears, which is the other side of that, okay? Either you're going to be in your fears or you're going to be in your power, okay? So because Pluto knows that on the other side of fear is your power, it's not removed from making you go through very harsh situations in order to get there, okay? So understand change and transformation can sometimes look like this, and sometimes it can look like you were supposed to quit that job 2 years ago, so now you're fired, okay? That's what it could look like, because to Pluto, your dream job is behind the job you sitting in. So if you do not leave, if you keep getting complacent in where you are, how do you get to where you're supposed to be? And it does matter, because if you do not get there, the goals and all the responsibility that you have in this life that you don't do affects everybody else. We are all connected by a chain and a link. So what I don't do affects you. If I wasn't doing astrology, how could we be doing this call right now? How could we be studying? How could we be learning, right? So my purpose and the things that I have to do to fix myself automatically comes in alignment, and it helps, it's vice versa. It helps me and it helps you. So we have to understand that this Pluto purpose is making sure that you change so that we can change together. It is very important that we do that. So sometimes it is important for you to die in certain ways. Don't necessarily mean a physical death, but sometimes you got to spiritually die. So you can understand that you've been hanging on to that for way too long. And not just you've been hanging on to it, your bloodline, because that Pluto dynamic that deals with the Scorpio energy, which is what it rules, it's also hidden secrets. It's hidden family stuff sometimes, right? And sometimes that is stuff like the family are all alcoholics, but ain't nobody dealing with it. Nobody going to rehab, right? Or there is molestation that is just being carried on, passed down, and ain't nobody talking about it. Pluto deals with that too. Pluto pulls that stuff out. Why? Because when it pulls these things out, you can heal. When you heal, now you didn't heal 7 generations behind and 7 generations in the future. So everything that we go through, even though it's sometimes so uneasy, when the family explodes, when we at these Christmas parties and at these Thanksgiving parties and everybody boom, blow up and, these things are exploded. Nobody wants to be in the seat of those things. But we've been waiting on this. It has just been compiling and compiling and compiling. So understand, as we talk about this shift or where we're getting ready to go in our world, we have been compiling and compiling. I'm tired of this. I'm tired. I got to pay for that. And why can't my kids have this? Why does food have to be so high? All these things have been complaints are you compiling things. And when you keep compiling things, you have to look at this as you asking the universe for change. Right? Why else would you bring it up? Why else would you say this is a problem for you unless you are requesting something or someone to do something, right? Well, that's what happened when you keep filing those complaints in that complaint jar. Eventually, Pluto comes and breaks the whole jar and everything's exposed now. Now everybody got to deal with it. We all got to deal with it together, okay? All right. Pluto, interchanging growth. Pluto is the outermost planet in the zodiac, representing the edge of the conscious world. It takes Pluto approximately 248 years to complete its orbit around the sun, spending anywhere from 12 to 31 years in each sign. It just depends, okay, how it shows up. This time, we got 20. Lucky us. All right, we didn't get 31. So all of us are saying, oh man, we got 20. You want 31? Would you like? I don't want 31. I don't want 31. Y'all can take it. I'm gonna keep the 20 on this side. Okay. Thus, this planet tends to exert its influence over entire generations. So when we start to talk about the baby boomers, or we start to talk about Gen X and Gen Z, now we're talking about Pluto generations, because that's how long they are. They're so big that a group of us are in this portal of opportunity together, okay? In the individual chart, it manifests through the houses and aspects. Pluto represents the power to transform. It first destroys, then rebuilds and regenerates, okay? So again, it first destroys, then rebuild, then regenerate. It rules death, destruction, obsession, subversion, crime, the underworld, that which is hidden. It governs phobias, obsession, bacteria, viruses, and waste. It also represents stark reality, the naked truth, the loss of innocence. It forces you to look inward and confront your dark fears. If able to face your demons, your life becomes transformed and enriched, okay? The house in which Pluto falls in your chart is the area in your life where you must confront your fears or on your own, and in doing so will undergo profound change and inner growth. Pluto rules Scorpio, the 8th house, your change and your inner growth, okay? So now you can kind of see how we're combining these two together, right? We just talked about Aquarius and all the little details of Aquarius and what it is and what it do and how it exists. Now we're talking about Pluto, how it exists, what it do, how it show up. It's here to transform, right? It's here to get you into your fear so that you can realize you are a powerful person, that you have everything you need to no longer have that fear. But it has to bring that fear up so that you can change it. So all the stuff that you bury, that you say, I don't want to deal with no more, Pluto pulls it up because it has to pull it up so that you can face it. All right. Now, Pluto in Aquarius, for the entire generation, this is a period of intense scientific activity. Uranus is discovered opening up the field of astronomy, humanitarian concerns for the rights of men, women, children, slaves, as well as extreme transformations in the organization of society will occur. Okay. Pluto and Aquarius. Pull this out a little bit. Pluto and Aquarius are always looking for hidden truths and subtle meanings behind everything in the universe. There is no coincidence that we've had all of this exposure and continue to have this exposure in our industries, because it is the time for the truth. What happens when we discover that the governments that we gave control to have not been governing us? We take it back. We say, if y'all not doing a good job, then you're fired. It's just what that is. Because you've been having to do the job anyway. Why do we want to pay somebody who ain't doing the right job? We don't. And when I mean pay, meaning your blood, sweat, and tears, the things that you are having to go through, you are paying for that. So when they decided they don't want to do their jobs, then we don't want you no more. We don't desire you to do this anymore. Okay? So now we're dealing with the shifts of what that looks like. On January 20th, and in some places on January 21st, because I'm going to show you in the chart, right? In the chart for Eastern time, it was right after 12 o'clock when it happened, okay? We experienced a massive energetic shift. At 8:45 a.m. on yesterday, Sun and Pluto met at 29.59 degrees, okay? At Capricorn, that is the last degree. Right? Everything has 30 degrees before it changes into the next sign. So if we see something at 29.59, that is what we call cusp energy. So remember we was talking in class last time, and I was telling y'all when a person possesses both energies, when they're on the line, when something changes. So this energy of 29.59 also means 0 degree Aquarius. Okay, that's what that means. It's on the same degree, conjuncting the energy. So the Sun and Pluto meet at the 29.59 degree of Capricorn. Then at 8:09 a.m., right after that, Aquarius season of 2024 begins as the Sun enters Aquarius. And at 7:51 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which was really a little bit after 12, okay, Pluto enters Aquarius too. Now, the thing about that 29.59 degree, anytime we have something at the end, at 29 degree, what do we think that means? That means game over, checkmate, start over. So we're dealing with Alpha and Omega. You're dealing with the end of an energy and the beginning of something new. So we're at the brand new beginning of a new world. We've been talking about this new age stuff, and they be like, "Ooh, the new age, and it's gonna be cars flying and digital money," and all. You're in it, and you're a part of it. Meaning your energy is a part of what it's going to take to generate what we even think a new world is. So there's no need for us to be afraid of things like AI or cryptocurrency, because your energy is creating it. You're behind it. Your vibration is behind it. Okay. The Sun and Pluto enter Aquarius almost simultaneously, and Aquarius season begins with fireworks. The Sun is going to remain in Aquarius until February 18th, while Pluto is staying in the sign until September 1st, 2024. Then it's going to go back retrograde for just a second in Capricorn to do a little bit more cleanup or whatever it finished. Like, okay, this last little system things. So our government, this government shutdown stuff and this financial shutdown stuff got one more little area to go through, one more little one, okay? And it's going to go back into Aquarius again in November 19th, and it's going to stay there until 2044, okay? So everything that's happening is very important. The events that are very significant for the collective and for every one of us, regardless of our natal chart. So your fixed signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius are very important in your chart. So make sure that you circle them now. Not only are they important, if you have any of these signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and or Aquarius, at the last degrees are 27, 28, 29, or at the first degrees, 0, 1, 2, right? If you got these energies at the very first degree, then this is where you're going to experience the most of this energy, okay? That's part one. Take notes. Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. In your chart, circle it. If you see it in the chart, circle it. I'm going to tell you other places where it is. So even if you don't see it, I'm going to tell you the other places where Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius sit. But if you see it in a planet, or if you see it in your house, circle it. Okay? Now, we just talked about what Pluto governs, but it also governs the collective and generational cycles of transformation. Okay? Ongoing with the birth, death, and rebirth cycle, associated with which is hidden and buried, metaphorically and literally. Okay, so when we think about this energy, these are again big picture, global thinking, technological advances, right? So there is this AI is not coincidence. Okay, cryptocurrency, these advancements of the energy is no coincidence, because Aquarius is the future. It literally means the future. That's why it's always in his head, in the future. Okay, so these are futuristic things that we need. Why? Because we're tired of working so hard. We asked for it. We requested these things. Global thinking. So us having a global system or a global government. Why when everybody started talking about world was the world order, why was we so freaked out about that? When we want a global totalitarian energy, right? So we can make sure everybody is taken care of. Is that not what we want? Or we want there to be one area that's getting more than the others? We don't. That's not what we want. We want some sense of peace. And some sense of peace means we got to take care of everybody. Okay. Pluto in Aquarius, January 2024 to 2043. What could that look like? Transformations in technology, artificial intelligence, okay, breakdown, and the reinvention of the humanitarian causes and efforts. We got new ones, new things, changes within, and emphasis on communities, big and small, but especially globally, okay? Shifts in the societal matrix and the power structures. When was the last time we had Pluto in Aquarius? Last time we had Pluto in Aquarius was 1777. All the way until 1798. This was the time when we had the American Revolution. That's why it's great for you you may well go ahead and call this the Aquarian Revolution now, baby. This is all the futuristic revolution that we're in. It's going to be great. I'm excited. I'm going to give me a few robots. I'm going to give me like 4 or 5 of them, baby. We're going to go to town. We're going to get all kind of work done. But it's a period in which it was huge transformations in, right? It was energy that coincided with the French and the Haitian Revolution, right? Emphasis on your voices being heard. Right now, emphasis on our voices being heard. So can we see some upheaval in the world? We already see it. What y'all think y'all seeing in the stuff they showing y'all in the news? These people fighting. I saw the farmers over in UK, they loaded all they tractors up with cow manure, started dumping poo on all of the governmental people's houses and their lawns, because they was trying to, tell them what they couldn't use when it comes down to farming, and then trying to charge them more for the stuff they need. So understand, it is happening. They're not going to even show you all the ways in which people are saying, F you, I don't want this no more, okay? And even inside of you, you're saying it. You feel this. I don't want this no more. So since you don't want it, what you want? What are you willing to do for these transits? What are you willing to do to make sure in the next 20 years that the generations behind us get what they deserve? Okay, what? Right? So one of the things that is going to be important, right? And I screenshot this for a purpose. I want you to focus on creating a crew that is sacred for your energy. Okay. And what I mean by that is the people that you've had around you behind you, the 2023 and behind, they worked for that age. Okay. This right here, 2024 in the front, you're going to need some different people. You're going to need some people who are going to challenge you. You're going to need some people who are going to tell you that ain't right, that's wrong. You're going to need some different energy, some sacred energy of people who want to see you do well, because Pluto is requesting it. And if you keep people around you who don't want to see you do well, you are headed for a bunch of just constant chaotic situations. I mean, constantly, because either you're going to take the hint and get people around you that you're going to be willing to change, or you're going to force this, you're going to resist this change, and every energy you encounter is going to be a resistance, it's going to be a fight, because that's what an upheaval is, right? I'm fighting against something, and to fight against something means that you want a change. So this is the only reason why it would exist. So creating a team or having people around you that you know is going to be able to check you at your highs and your lows. And when I mean check, I mean give you love, be present. You know what I'm saying? Value you enough to stay present with you, regardless of what's happening. This is a resource that's going to be real hard to find in a minute. I'm telling you, we're getting real thin on the amount of people that can deal with stuff emotionally. So having emotional partners around you, friends, emotional people around that can help you with your emotion is going to be real. Ooh, it's going to be hard to find that. So get it now. Okay. Develop those characters now. Make sure that and then if you're that person, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you're also in that space of holding your support and holding the people accountable that you know that you want to hold accountable to make sure that they're going to be great. Okay. All right. Let's jump in to the last part, which is what it said in your chart. Okay. Now, what I want y'all to do first is I want you to take note whether or not you have Aquarius, right? We're going to go Aquarius first and we'll go through them. I want you to take notes if you have Aquarius in any planet. Okay. So if you have Aquarius in Sun, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, Neptune, Moon, Venus, Jupiter, Uranus, or Pluto, I want you to write down the mission. Okay? Write down the mission. So for example, my Venus is in Aquarius. So my mission, right, for this particular thing that we're finna get ready to build is to create love. That's one part of it. Okay? And as a matter of fact, y'all put it in the chat. If you don't have a planet, don't worry. I'm coming to you in a minute. But if you have a planet, put that mission down. Okay? Got it? You got it? Let me see what the chat says. Okay. To communicate love and to communicate well. Okay. Come on now. Come on now. Me Michelle says moon. Okay. So to explore within. All right. All right. All right. Wait. Okay, wait. Oh, wait, what am I seeing here? Okay, who left? Did somebody leave? Bianca? Bianca, are you still here? Okay, don't have it in the planet, just in South Node. Okay, to take action. Okay, perfect. To create love. Perfect. Sun, Mercury, Venus. What does that mean, Naima? What does it mean to have it in Sun, Mercury, Venus? What is all these things you're doing? Huh? To produce life. Woo, okay. To communicate well. To create love. To give back. I know you like God, dog. All these twos. It's okay. Watch where we go with this. Okay. Everybody got theirs down. Okay. All right. So now, this is the other part of it, right? So for those same ones, I want you to focus on the actual keywords of that, right? So if yours was the sun, then I want you to pay attention to the self, personality, ego, and confidence. So when we said, if we go back and it's to produce life, it's to produce life by working with the self, working with the personality, working with the ego, and working with confidence, okay? You're combining those two parts together. So what is your part? What is your part so far? Your part is to, and just in the sun, is to produce life. But produce life how? By making sure that you are taking care of yourself, your personality, your ego, your confidence is a thing, okay? If we're talking about Venus, right? Venus is to create love. So we're creating love in what ways, right? The energy of aesthetics, the energy of receiving, creating love through money, creating love through love, right? All the aspects of dealing with Venus. That is the energy of that, okay? So just take those notes down too. I'm going to hold it there for a second. And then we're going to jump into the houses for those who didn't have any planets, right? All right, Jamaica. Now, houses. I want you to also take note on all the spaces where you have Aquarius in your houses. So for me, I have Aquarius in the 7th house, okay? So for me, again, now we're dealing with the Aquarius energy of dealing with relationships, marriage, partnership, business matters, equilibrium, contracts, all that stuff, right? It's my energy of dealing with the Aquarius energy of where I have it. If you have no Aquarius energy or you have no planets in your houses, I want you to also focus on the energy of what sits in your 11th house or what falls in your 11th house, okay? And what I mean is you may not have no planets there, but just the energy that falls in order or in alignment. I want you to pay attention to what falls there, okay? Yes, Aquarius in the 3rd. So Aquarius in the 3rd house, right? 3rd house rules communication, thinking, siblings, neighbors, intelligence, and social activity. Okay. So yours is a 3rd house responsibility. Mine is a 7th house responsibility. 4th house responsibility. 4th house responsibility is dealing with the home, roots, and heritage, family, foundation, household, the comfort. Okay. What else we got? Aquarius in the 8th. 8th house energy deals with transformation, deals with intimacy, death and rebirth, shared finances, sexuality, psychology, personal growth, okay? Aquarius in the 5th house. 5th house is pleasure, romance, creativity, playing, drama, fertility, risk, as well as teaching children, okay? Aquarius in the 8th house. Naima, same. Oh, no, that's 6th house. Aquarius in the 6th house. Health, acts of service, skills, courage, wellness, organization, strength, working with others. Work, energy. Okay. 9th house, Jamaica. Psychology, law, ethics, travel, studying, culture, experience through exploration, as well as education. It is the teacher and the student. Okay. Did we miss anybody? 12th and 1st house for you, Monique. 1st house energy, self, your beginning, your appearance, your physical body, your impressions, your ego, identity, and foundation. Okay. We look at the 12th house again, how we was just talking about alpha and omega. 1st house is beginning. 12th house is the endings, right? So the end or the omega, it is closure. It is inner truth, spirituality, karma, subconscious, seclusion. And it could also be the space where we experience luck and healing if we let go. Okay. It's a let go space. Another parts of the wheel, same thing, saying the same things, right? So just more details on what these things are. The reason why these are important is because this is the first place that you're going to work as it relates to Pluto and Aquarius. It's the first area that you're going to deal with, okay? And then I want you to do the same thing for your other fixed placements. So, I mean, after you study Aquarius, which is the most important, then you're going to go back and do the same thing for Taurus, the same thing for Scorpio, the same thing for Leo, okay? So go and look at the details. Again, you're going to have this playback so you can pause it. And when you press pause, go and write down the key terms so you'll know what words that you're dealing with, as well as what key terms. So these houses have words. Those words help you to know what to do. So you can ever say, I don't know what I'm working on. How you not know? They got words there. All you got to do is focus on that word or focus on that energy. And if you just focus on that energy by even just saying the word, it's going to produce a vibration in the energy for you to work on. Okay. Now, what are some just easy things to look into of what you need to do? Okay. Based on your house's perspective, right? So look at this. First house. First house, one of the things that you need to let go of when you're dealing with this Pluto energy, right? Fighting everything. Now, Monique, I'm going to use you for an example because you the last person put on there. Now, you know me and you, that's been the main thing we worked on. Was you fighting? Like, just stop fighting and flow, bro. And the moment you started flowing, through journaling, everything just started like coming out, right? This is the energy. So now it's being reminded of that energy. So no matter what tends to show up of things that you may feel like you need to change, because it's Pluto is going to put the pressure in so you'll know what it is that you need to be doing, is for you to not to fight and to flow, okay? Second house, clinging to resources. Old patterns you need to be ready to let go of, okay? Clinging to resources. Third house, needing to explain everything. Fourth house, not wanting to leave your family or your home. Fifth house, needing validation or approval and love. Six, needing perfection, controlling the environment, your health, right? Not controlling the health. Seventh house, needing relationships all the time, right? So that's me. That's my perspective, right? The energy of dealing with that Aquarius dynamic. Eighth house, needing drama, overcomplicating things, needing intensity, making everything life or death, or beginning and ending, where it's going, right? Attachment to your truth, wanting to convince everyone of the truth, always on the search for the next best thing. 10th house, needing the responsibility for everything and everyone, being obsessed with status and accomplishment, success. 11, feeling isolated, alienating yourself, being on the outside looking in. 12th house, constantly escaping reality, being lost in confusion, okay? 8th house is spot on. Yeah, listen, all of them spot on. And even though they may not be word on, like you may not feel like you're in that space right now, understand that this is what Pluto is going to promote in you, right? It's going to make sure that this is a part that you're dealing with. Why? Because for 20 years, now you have to move into a different perspective of it. What's a different perspective? Now you have to transform into those spaces. So if we go back to that very beginning thing that we looked at, right? And now you take this energy and you change the word and transform and put the word transform there, right? So if you have, for example, if the energy of dealing with the Aquarius dynamic was in the first house, right? If it's in the first house energy, then you already know that what you're going to do is add transform there. So you would, if your Aquarius energy is in the first, then you're going to transform your passion into a cause. That's one of the things you need to work on, right? So meaning, and also understanding that because it's in the first house, which is what Aries rules, is also about you taking leadership on that, right? So some form of this Pluto and Aquarius energy is forcing you to be able to not only burst into your passion, but realizing that this passion is not just for you, it's for a cause, it's for other people to learn, it's for other people to be able to learn from you. But it's going to take you not only bursting into that passion or transforming into that passion, but also being able to lead and being willing to lead, okay? If we go into the second house perspective, or we go into the energy of dealing with that, right? Now it's about you now not being afraid to try new things, which means you have to transform, to do new things, and being willing to do new things. Why? Because once you do those new things, now part of the Taurus responsibility is to be a representation of that, to be the speaker of that, right? To be the All-American, to represent that as it relates to being the prince or the princess. You're representing something as it relates to a legacy, right? So trying those new things sometimes may look like it might not necessarily be something that you saw your family members do or somebody else do, but it may be something that has been calling to you to do. So having a little courage and not being afraid to do something a little bit different, okay? If we're looking at it from the Gemini third house perspective, if it's in the third house, now it's you not being afraid to transform, doing something different, setting new trends, and not being afraid to speak against the ones that you're not following. You know what I'm saying? Or it could be something where you see something go the same way all the time, and then you know that you need to bring up the question of why that's going the same way all the time. But it's like, I don't know if I want to challenge that. Understand that Gemini's job is intellectual conversations, right? So when you start to intellectualize what needs to change, you're setting the trend. And you're setting the trend because not everybody is going to fall into that. Understand, we're talking about Aquarius here. So if everybody followed the trends, what about the people who came? Are they left out? Are they ostracized? So something has to be created here, Gemini energy, right? So what's happening in the third house is asking you to possess that energy. Cancer, fourth house dynamic, right? So one of the things that you're going to have to understand that your part, your responsibility in this Pluto energy, this Pluto and Aquarius energy, is to learn how to take up and transform into taking care of yourself and having your own solitude, okay? It is about you. Because if you don't make it about you sometimes, especially those of you that have it in the fourth house energy, then you're always taking care of the world. It's always about everybody else. It's always about family. It's always about the outside energy, but you are also carrying so much weight from that. So to carry the weight from that, you're not allowing yourself to just be free or to transform. And to not transform, I mean, now you start to deal with how that then starts to destroy the body or destroy your energy, okay? Leo energy, not being afraid to be your own muse. So transforming into what you think your muse is supposed to be. If you got Aquarius energy in the fifth house, Leo's the ruler of that house. So that's why the Leo energy is there. So it's like not being afraid to step into being what your muse is or what you think a muse should be, right? Because the Leo energy can work from the front or from the back, meaning that it can be the producer or it can be the actor or the actress. So sometimes you have to step back and say, let me produce myself. Or let me be the actor or the actors of my own life, right? So when you do that and you get on the stage, now the energy that you would normally hide from, you're able to really show your courage. And when you show your courage, that energy matches with what the world needs. And now you're able to show courage to a whole group of people, a whole community of people, right? So now you're starting an acting class and now you're helping other people to act, right? Now you're writing scripts for other people because you learn how to get through that because you recognize what being your own muse has produced inside of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Virgo energy, or in the sixth house dynamic. Again, working with being more comfy. So it's about transforming the uncomfortable into something that you can work with. Okay, that's combining those two together. What I mean by that is you're gonna find yourself in spaces where you're uncomfortable because you're dealing with people who sometimes just lack understanding. And even though your strong suit is you're able to break things down, sometimes your energy of being able to break things down so quickly can irritate you because it seems like people sometimes are just trying to irritate you. That's how it can come across. So when it come across that way, it's energy of shutting down, right? But you have to understand, Pluto is trying to transform that space. So sometimes being uncomfortable is so that you can transform that and now turn it into creativity or turn it into a different way of learning how to work with people, seeing things differently in a different way that you've never saw before. Because again, your gift is the gift to break things down. So part of the energy that you're going to learn from this uncomfortable situation is learning how to teach other people how to work with people when they are uncomfortable. So it becomes a strong suit. It becomes a gift now. Whereas before it was a problem that you had to go and take 5-10 minutes from. Now you can be able to understand exactly where it's coming from, the angle, and how to be able to dodge that. You know what I'm saying? You know how to be able to use it. And you'll teach others how to use that too. Again, where we have Aquarius is where we are responsible to the age. And being responsible to the age means you have to not only do it for you, transform it into you, but it has to be something that the age sees us do. We have to be able to show this, showing it by the truth, though. Okay, so this is not about you out there on the bullhorn saying, I believe in this and I believe in that. But the moment you get your butt home, you ain't doing nothing. No, that's not what this is about. This is about you don't even have to get on the bullhorn. All you have to do is embody this energy. If you embody it, the entire energy, everybody gonna see it, and they're gonna start to ask you, excuse me, ma'am, excuse me, sir. Can you tell me what you did? Can you show me how you transformed into that? How were you able to do that? Because I remember a time when I watched you when you couldn't do that. So how did you do that? That's the power of transformation. That's the power of Pluto energy. Okay. Now, we get into the Libra dynamic, standing up for what's right. So learning to transform. Sometimes the Libra energy of being on both sides makes you, again, it makes you the most indecisive, not just in situations, but in your life, right? And then because you are indecisive, you find yourself being the people pleaser. So those of you that have the Aquarius dynamic in the 7th house energy, which is me, right? It's understanding too that the dynamic is you allowing yourself to see how you're going to find the balance between taking care of yourself and taking care of those that you desire to be in a relationship with, right? Another part of that energy is 7th house too, because it is about relationship energy as well, is not being able to talk and speak on non-conventional relationships, especially if you got Aquarius in the 7th house. So some part of you is going to have to like speak up and say, oh, well, maybe I don't think I'm a monogamous woman. Right? You got to stand up what's right. You're not the monogamous person, right? That ain't never been your life. Or maybe you ain't the person who, maybe you like multiple partners, or maybe you're the person who likes same sex. Whatever your cause is, right? It's about understanding who you are in that space and allowing yourself to know that whoever you are and however you are, love will find you, and love has to find you, right? Because you are love. And if you are love and you embody that, you attract what you need to attract, okay? You don't have to settle for something else because you feel misunderstood in love, okay? Understand where we got Aquarius in these places is also where we're misunderstood, right? So it's feeling misunderstood in love and feeling like that you may not ever find the energy that correlates to you in that particular perspective, but you have to stand up for it. You, as the kids are saying, you got to stand on it. As long as you stand on it, then the attraction will attract to you as it needs to, okay? Scorpio, bringing your inner world into the outer world, okay? So this is that merger energy of understanding that Pluto is going to change things. And what it wants to change the most is all the hidden secrets that you have, okay? So hidden secrets meaning things that you may not have had to necessarily deal with, or you haven't dealt with from your childhood. So any type of family secrets, that kind of stuff, it wants you to transform that energy into healing energy, right? Healing energy is manifestation energy. Manifestation energy through what ways? Through all the ways in which Scorpio and Pluto energy exists. So that is sexuality, that is the occult, that is studying things, that is finances, that is all the things that are dealing with that particular aspect of the 8th house, okay? So bringing that, transforming your world, the things that you're feeling about these things that you're feeling discontent about, learning about these things, and now you're starting to pull those things out. So when you learn about healing tools and healing modalities to change your life, being able to talk about those things, okay? The 9th house dynamic, applying your sense of adventure inwardly. So just the ways of, again, wanting to go out to be able to fix yourself is understanding that the transformation that you need is all internal. So a lot of education of yourself, learning who you are, what you want, how you want it to be, presenting it in a way which is allowing you to not only be the teacher and the student of your life, but also applying the energy of spiritual practices, right? So meaning not just wanting to be the skate artist all the time, or just I want to go here, travel there. Being able to sit in your house, in your room, and just be with yourself and travel there, right? Travel in your mind, travel based on the things that you have been learning about yourself. And as we move to Capricorn, again, the innovation part. Capricorn energy, especially when it's dealing with Pluto, is also the transformation of family dynamics, right? So any type of things that you felt like you've had to deal with from the family perspective or legacy perspective. So this can be learning how to deal with money better, okay? Could also be you learning how to heal the masculine energy. So meaning if you have perspective where your daddy went in the house and your mom was the one who had to take care of everything, learning how to have a balance of the energy of being doing things too much, right? Or having the control issue. So it's understanding that you came from those things because you had to come from those things, but now you can change it. You can transform it into something else. So it's not so heavy on your body and causing you to not feel like you know what you need to do as it relates to being innovative in your life, okay? Or going to the next level of your life, okay? Anything in the 11th house? Person in the 11th house is staying as you are now, which if you already have the energy Aquarius in the 11th house, then you're already doing a lot of humanitarian stuff, or feeling like you need to help people, or always quick to want to go out in the world and do things for animals. Like you're already in that space. So now it's just understanding that for the next 20 years, you're almost like a savior walking around. You're going to be attracting a lot of vibration. And this is wherever you have Aquarius energy. If you got a lot of Aquarius energy, when I mean savior, I don't mean people want you to save them. I mean, you are a representation of this age. And because you are a representation of this age, people are going to look at you as an example of how to be, or the permission of what to be, right? Because they've gotten confused. Before this, they had to live by certain standards, right? You had to wear the same color socks and you had to match and you had to do all these different things. But we're not in an age no more, right? You don't have to match your clothes or match your socks, or you don't have to say you're a girl or a boy. You don't have to do any of those things. Any of those things that you have to do. So part of the energy of Aquarius is just to embody you, as weird, eclectic, and as a dynamic as that is, as futuristic as that is. You want to wear copper around your head and look like you came from outer space, do that, because some of us need to know that we got the permission to do that too. Okay, so it's the energy of just being you regardless of what other people may say about you, being completely true to that. Last perspective is Pisces, letting go. Okay, transform by letting go. And when I mean letting go escapism, letting go of the fact of you think that saving other people is going to save you. You have to take care of yourself. Okay, it is about you. If you do not take care of you, then dreaming for a better world would never happen. So transform your dreams into what better looks like and what better needs to be. Okay, by you understanding that self-care is the only way we get better. Okay, I don't care how much you think you need to take care of everybody else. You need to do it for you first. So it's about what can you do for you first and what transforms into that next perspective. Pisces is the end. So meaning that as we go through this perspective of what we're dealing with Aquarius, this whole energy of it, you know what I'm saying? The next perspective that we'll be going into, that whole dynamic of it, is Pisces, right? So know that we are continuing the wheel of what healing and transformation looks like. But right now it's about your future, okay? It's about you, the next 20 years. And that 20 years means that you have to be willing to transform all the fixed areas of your life. Understand that word fixed. Okay, this is not coincidence. The universe knows what it's doing. So transform your fixed signs, transform your fixed areas, especially if they are in and around the last degrees. It is up. Your time is over. I've been saying that for a minute, like, hold on. We only got a certain amount of time before we don't have no time no more, and you don't. This is it. Your transformation is right now. Okay, I'm gonna come off of this share screen so we can talk. Y'all got any questions? See what y'all been saying over here in the chat. Okay, got it. How y'all feeling about all of this? I'm tired too, but we're just getting started. Oh, I didn't tell y'all about my daddy, did I? I'm so sorry. I'm supposed to start off the conversation with that. My dad, and that'll give y'all time to think about what y'all about to say, because y'all finna all have to say something. January 2nd, second day of the year, I get a call from my family telling me that my dad is just swelling beyond control. Okay, don't want to go to the hospital. Goes into the hospital. Long story short, he has congestive heart failure and 3 blocked arteries. They wanted to do a triple bypass surgery at first, which we did not agree to. And we opted out for just the stent procedure, which was non-invasive, or it's, you know, they still have to go in and do certain things or whatever, but you know, his chances of having any type of other damage go on seem to be less on that particular perspective. So he had one that was like over 70% blocked. And then the other 2 was like under that. So I think one was like at 30%. The other one may have been like 40 or something percent in that thing, but they were able to do 2 of them. They went in to do 3 stents and they were only able to do 2. He's been back home now 2 days and he, you know, seems to be okay. So far, he won't let me come home. So for those who are asking like, why are you not at home? Because he won't let me come home, because he seems to think that it's not that serious, even though everybody else know that it was more serious than he tried to claim that it was. But we've been having conversations, excuse me, just about every day. I'm talking to my mom, kind of holding her more so than anything, because all of this happened around my mom's birthday. I don't know if y'all remember me having class in September. I think it was like our retrograde class. And I was like, yo, this retrograde energy is going to be like real tight. And a lot of these transits are going to be like ending in and around my mother's birthday. Right. And I knew then, I'm like, this is a lot of stuff. Even with this first lunar eclipse happening on my birthday this year. Like, these are all very important things. These are not just like, oh, coincidental times. No, there are not. I don't think that by no means is why I calculate this math so much, because I know that it matters. So he's back at home. But because my dad is almost 80, okay, and he comes from the baby boomer age, since we're talking about the Pluto age, right, the Plutarian age, they just been through a lot, you know what I'm saying? So their mindsets of what they will and won't do is just, it's really, it could be real difficult, you know what I'm saying? So my mom is doing her best, but they're also dealing with someone who does not want to do certain things. So my brother's also involved. So we're just at a point to where now it's just about what is it that we have to do. So they are going to go back to Georgia for a little bit in Atlanta and be with my brother for a little bit, just to kind of give my mom some ease, because my mom's a short lady. Okay, I don't know if y'all know, the men in my family are tall. Okay, both my dad and my brother are over 6'3", like 6'3", 6'4". Okay, my mom is barely 5. Okay, she's like 4'11", 4'10". Okay, she's a little short little thing, and I don't even know why they even let people do that. They shouldn't even let people who are under a certain age even talk to somebody who's over that age. They should be like abuse, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, this little short lady is with this big man, and my brother, since my brother is bigger than my dad, he is at least there to help out. So my brother did go home. He's been there with my mom, and they're leaving tomorrow, headed back to Georgia to be there for a month. So while they're there, I'm hoping that my mom gets a chance to get out, okay, to save herself. Y'all, and I mean this in the best way possible, because I love my daddy to death, but I am doing some work around that thing. Y'all hear me? Because I am upset and angry with him in a lot of different ways. And I know it's all the energy that I have to work on, because I ain't never been upset with my dad. Like, for the most part. When I mean this, I understand that people have ways that they are, right? And I've learned how to understand that our parents did not have therapy, okay? They did not go through therapy. Because they did not go through therapy, it's almost silly for you to even want to be mad at them, because it's like being mad at kids, right? But it's like, it's these things that keep holding me in my head when it comes down to how he's still treating my mother to this day, okay? And I'm just like, he does not have to do this, but I know where he also comes from. So all of this has been like, definitely in my mind, because I came into the Gregorian 2024 like, I finna whoop, and no, that's not what happened at all. It shouldn't be like this, it shouldn't be like that. It's like, no, you finna do some deep healing from the gates. You're coming out in the gate, and just that energy of him even having to go to the hospital, and then them even wanting to do the triple bypass surgery, y'all, on my mother's birthday, it gave my mama whole energy in. She was just, that was a day that I saw my mama break, and I haven't saw her. This is a Capricorn, okay? This is, y'all, Capricorn women, it's not easy. You can't break them, okay? You have to go do a lot of stuff to break Capricorn women. So the fact that she just, man, it was something that, for me, I was on my way home. I was already like, and Spirit just like, nope, hold for a second. So everything is working as it should. I have trust, I have faith, that everything is in divine, you know what I'm saying? And because it is, it's going to be as it's supposed to be. And in the meantime of that, I'm going to take care of myself. So that's why I continue to work as much as I could through the process of it. And also knowing that this energy, thank you, Monique, this energy of dealing with all these changes and transitions, they don't wait for nobody. Okay. They don't wait. They're not waiting for my father to get better out of the hospital. You understand what I'm saying? And that's not to be insensitive to me or to him. It's for us to understand, like, as I was talking to him in the hospital, I had to have a hard conversation with my daddy, y'all, and it wasn't nice while he was in the hospital. because my dad knows better. Understand, I have given him every herb that has exist. Any problem that they have in that household, y'all, I am constantly cooking. I have been providing holistic health care for my family since I was a child. This has been my thing forever. So for him to even do that made me upset. I'm like, you don't have to be here. My conversation to my dad was, get out of there. That was my conversation to him. So it wasn't like, oh, Daddy, I miss you, please. It was like, what are you doing in there? Why are you there? What the heck? What? Get out of there! Don't make. If I have to come down to Jackson, Mississippi, it's not gonna be good, because I am not gonna be good when I get there. Do you understand what I'm saying? This was my conversation. So that's why I was thanking y'all for prayers, because I had to hold on. We all had to hold on, because my daddy he's not supposed to be there. And then when they want to do all these procedures on him, he's like, I don't feel like I need all that. If you don't feel like you need all that, why are you in there? Why is you in there? You don't need to be in there. Get out of there. Do better. And I'm saying this to all of us, right? We got to do better, man. We know better. We got the tools. We got the resources. But why are we not using them? Why do we wait until we are at the deficit of our life before we want to start using the things that God has gave us for our gifts? I don't understand that. I don't understand it in my own family life. I don't understand when I do it, and I don't understand when we do it. So this is we can't do this anymore, because when you do that, now that energy that my dad couldn't deal with on himself fell back on all of us. You understand what I'm saying? This is again why I'm saying we're all connected. So when we think we're not connected, and you think you're in your own little bubble, in your own little world, you are lying. And this is the year of truth. And the year of truth is that if we don't get it together, we're going to all fall under something that we don't want to fall under, because we don't want to do our part. You hear what I'm saying? It's about doing your part. So understand, your Aquarius energy is your part. Your fixed signs is your part. And your part is just healing yourself. That's the major part of it. So if you can heal yourself, the other parts fall into alignment. But if you're not willing to do your part, you're not willing to just look at the things that you are resisting to healing in yourself, you don't got time to blame nobody else and talk to nobody else about nothing. Your fate is in your hands. Our fate, our 20-year fate on where we go and how we do is in our hands collectively. Now, what are we going to do? Your gifts and your talents are no longer optional. You have to do them this year. So you have to make time for them. I don't care if somebody gets sick or if you get sick. What I mean is, you might not be able to record the thing, but you can still lay there and plan it out. You can still do some part of it. Dedicate your energy to you, and you'll see you'll start to feel better, because sometimes you're getting sick because you're ignoring yourself. And the moment you stop ignoring yourself, all of a sudden you get healthy. So know that this first 3 months is probably going to be the hardest of it, right? Because it's completely new. You don't have a manual. You don't have, the team is not there. You know what I'm saying? All of these are things that you are rebuilding. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, we are dealing with the changes of the government, the changes of money. So your money ain't where it was 3 years ago. Okay. The reason being is because now Spirit wants to see if you are truly about your creation, because the money is you, right? So if you create, you'll see that. But if you sit in slump saying, why I don't have it, why it ain't here, then it's not going to show up. And then eventually you're going to get to where you don't have nothing and you're forced to do it. Kind of how we was in COVID, when everybody got laid off and they didn't have nothing to do. What everybody started doing? Them doggone online businesses kicked in, boy. People was like, oh, I know how to make hats. Oh, I know how to make socks. I know how to knit. Everything in the world that we know how to do came out, didn't it? All the stuff. We was at home being the most creative we could be, but not before we went through a stint of depression first. So you may feel this level of depression right now. It's not real. It's your shift. It's your spirit asking you to obey to the gifts that you have. Okay. You made a promise to yourself and your gifts. You made a promise to the God in you and to the God outside of you to do this. We're all connected in this. Okay. I had a ball too, girl. Listen. because I was already virtual when it started. Like a lot of my stuff, I had already moved into it virtually anyway. So I'm like, nothing's really changing for me. Like I didn't have the time to go out grocery shopping anyway. So I've been online shopping for groceries. So what is the thing, right? But it was an interesting thing to see how the world shifts. And this right here is also an interesting thing to see too. You know what I'm saying? Because we're going back into community. We're going back into community living. We're going back to taking care of each other. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see how we band together and get through this. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Thank you so much for being here, my dear. Okay. Any questions before you go? Oh, she already left. Do y'all have any questions about your particular things? Do you know what you need to be working on? What you need to do? Are you confused?
You said to look at where the fixed signs are. What if your fixed sign is in ascending? Like, what do you do for that?
So which fixed sign is it?
Scorpio.
So Scorpio rising, baby. So when we're looking at what degree is it at? What degrees?
11 and 35.
Okay, so it's at 11 and 35. So it's away from that portal of energy from the very end or beginning degree. So it's not going to really get a lot of attention, but this is going to show up as your appearance, right? So meaning you wanted to maybe do something with your hair or color your hair or maybe change your wardrobe. You know what I'm saying? Something about your sensuality and your sexual energy is starting to emerge or wanting to emerge, like, you know, wanting to be more in the spaces of just owning the femininity more. You're going to start to feel it. Maybe even in your body, start to feel it more. So what do you do with it? Own it, right? So when you start to feel that sensuality energy increase, or even the call to wanting to study more of things that are hidden. So metaphysical sciences, occult knowledge, all things that are associated with Scorpio is going to get a burst. It's going to get a highlight. Like, pay attention over here too. These are things that also need your time and your attention, or need you to transform to also look into these things too. Okay. You went on mute. I couldn't hear you. Say it one more time.
Sorry. You said Leo is the fixed sign also?
Yep.
And how does that relate with the North Node?
So North Node is the vehicle you should drive. So it's not necessarily like your rising is the clothes that you are. Your rising is like your skin, right? But the North Node is like the bodysuit you can zip on and zip off, or the car you drive. So it's the easiest way for you to be able to satisfy a lot of the things that you came here to do. So meaning, like, if you are being more Leo, leaning more into your Leo energy, it'll make everything else that you have to do here easier. What is leaning more into your more Leo energy? Well, Leo is being more out, right? So that means coming out of hiding, not necessarily doing things that takes more courage, right? Leo is also energy that can have a level of, you know, a little freaky energy too. You know, it'll dress up for you real quick. You know what I'm saying? So it's not being afraid to step into and embody that energy sometimes. So that matches. Leo and Scorpio energy loves to hang out together because they both act shy. But when you get them in certain spaces, baby, it's like, wow, I'm here. So it's that same energy of embodying that. So that if you combine those together and just see just those two, right? You can see that one of the things that this Pluto in Aquarius energy and the whole Pluto dynamic of the fixed signs is asking for you to do is to embody your power more. So spaces where you felt like you have been in fear, it is pushing you towards power. Pushing you towards power how? To be more courageous in your life, to do things, take risks, be a little bit more risky on some things that you may have been like, I'm not sure. I'm scared about that. It's like, no, you don't need to be scared because you're protected. You're supported. Just go towards it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Gigi, let me ask you this.
Yep.
So, I know you just said the depression is not real, and
No.
I feel like these like I haven't even been journaling for like a week because I've been like stuck in like this depression type thing, and then it's like I notice I'll pop out and show myself, but then I'll come back in and be hidden and be like inside my head, and I'm like, how do I get out of that? Like, if I'm going through that, how do I get to the point where I don't know like what I'm trying to ask.
Where's Mars? Where's Mars again?
Hold on. My Mars is in damn, where's Mars at? Oh, Sagittarius.
Okay. Sagittarius in what house is it in?
Hold on. Sagittarius in the 9th house.
Okay. Because you're Aries rising, right?
I am, hold on, Aquarius.
Aquarius rising. Okay. And you said it's in Sagittarius in the what house again?
It's in the 9th house.
9th house. Okay. Some part of your Mars, right? So meaning like the energy that you may be into is maybe the lingering energy of coming out of that perspective of Capricorn, the Pluto Capricorn dynamic. I just think it's a lingering effect, right? A lot of people are feeling it, meaning like it's like this holiday lag energy. They say the third Monday of January every year is the most depressing day of the year due to credit card statements, financial statements and stuff that comes out after the holidays, right? So this is the time and the energy anyway during the time period that we just naturally have a community of energy amounts of finances, because it's like we're in the middle of where our money is the lowest and right before tax season comes in, right? So some of the stuff that you are also taking in is just I feel like very empathic energy. Meaning that there's a lot of like energy that feels that like it's stalled. And it's not that it's stalled, it's just that we are redeveloping what that energy is. So the things that you was doing, right, up until a week or two ago before the new year came in, worked. Now you got to do something else. So even though journaling worked then, now you got to do more, right? Because even journaling, like I told you before, that is putting a pen to it. But one of the things that you've been having to confront and deal with is your face and talking to people, right? So now it's getting back into that space. You got real comfortable with that journaling, baby. That journaling, you're like, I'm journaling, I'm tanning in. Now, what about video journaling? What's the next step to this? See what I'm saying? Exactly what I thought. You was doing it. You was doing it at one time and then you stopped. So it's not like you haven't done it before. It's just the fact that is the resistance. The resistance is you showing up for yourself. And that's why this depression energy is there, because it's going to take you into a space where you have to break out. It happens every time. And when you break out, you be good. So this is a breakout that you're experiencing. So when I say it's not real, it is pressure that the universe is putting down on us on purpose so that you feel like you're being forced to push up. You feel what I'm saying? So it's intentional. It's an intentional energy of depression to make you do something. That's what the revolt energy is. What I mean is the energy of Aquarius, or the upheaval, or the fighting back energy, is because of the pressure. It's the pressure of you doing your part and nothing else is doing this part. What you think you're going to do eventually? You're going to roar. You're going to come out of there. You hear what I'm saying? And it takes a lot to get in Aquarius energy to get there, because they don't just get there naturally. They're trying their best to avoid confrontation, to avoid all these things. They're trying their best to the point they don't even want to deal with emotions. They don't want to deal with it. So you got to be pushed to that dynamic so you can feel strong about it, so you can feel powerful about it. So the depression is not real, but process it how you have to process it to come out of it. So if you have to stay in that space and not write, do what you need to do, but just know what coming out of it looks like. You have to completely come into the power of that. So you're going to have to share this story. You're going to share how this energy of doing the journaling, how spirit has come up on you and told you that that's not enough for you, that you need to do more.
Can I just share something? I was having that same experience, just recycling negative thoughts in a space where I know I shouldn't be, and just talking myself through it. In one of my classes, the exercise was to record yourself on your phone asking yourself these questions like you're interviewing or talking to a client. So it was like, what are you going through right now? And then talk it out on your phone. And then ask yourself, what do you feel like you could do to support yourself, to change? And then go in and do a third video of you coaching yourself, and then go back and watch that. And it was transformational to me, because I was able to give myself the love that I give to other people and feel it. So
Yeah.
I didn't see the woman's name who said that, but maybe if you tried that, it'll help you feel a little better. I hope it does.
Monique. Yes, absolutely. Because that's the importance of doing audio notes, right? Even I also believe making your own mantras and put them on your phone also helps better than listening to other people do it. I'm not saying listening to other people don't work. I'm just saying it's something about your own subconscious doing that, right? So I'm constantly in this space of having to like coach myself constantly. Yes, Cher said great suggestions. It's like constant in this space of having to like check yourself, right? To the point where even I go through my body and be like, okay, what am I feeling discomfort somewhere, right? Am I feeling discomfort in my stomach? Am I feeling like where on my body am I feeling this discomfort? And then I also ask like, what do I think the reason behind it is? Right. So it's just a constant checks and balance system, because sometimes we don't do that. And again, those things start to pile up. So now you got this thing feeling over here, you got that thing over there, and you haven't checked in with your body. You haven't checked in with your energy to say, oh, I got this little thing that I feel pressing into my back, into my shoulder. And that feels like tension, right? Like the other day I was feeling like some heavy weight on my body. I was like, where's it from? And the first person that came up was my mama. And I was like, oh, so I'm holding this for my mom. So then I had to see myself take it off. And I literally feel myself take it off. It was okay for me to hold it for, but it was starting to get heavy. I can't do it no more. So let me ease this off myself, right? But we have to get into the habit of doing this, because we go to the doctors and they do it for us. Like, how are you feeling? Let me take your temperature, right? But you can do that yourself. You can take your own temperature. You can ask yourself, what am I feeling and how am I feeling and where do I think this energy is coming from? Because if you are also very empathic, right? Understand that this world shift, you're feeling that. The other day, I went through levels of anger, loneliness. I went through feeling like, and it was one space where I was feeling where like, I felt dissatisfaction, almost like I had just had sex, but it wasn't enough, right? So it's like all these, but I hadn't had sex. So where this come from, right? So I'm sitting there thinking about all these things. And as I'm going through all the different emotional things that I felt, I could sense that this was coming world. This is empath. And to the point that I got to the point to where I was feeling there was a misunderstanding feeling that I was feeling. And I was like, I feel like I'm not being heard, or I feel like I'm not being listened to, right? And so I went to try to check and see where that was coming from, and that was from me. That was mine. And I was like, ooh, wait a minute, where is this coming from, right? So that I had started to think about the last experiences that I had been having and how that energy was making me, how it was rendering in my body, right? Of feeling like, even though I'm in a room sometimes and I may be having conversations with people, that the information that I'm saying is so far sometimes that I feel like that nobody heard it. They completely missed that. So that feeling of being misunderstood made me feel isolated and like I was by myself. So I had to sit with myself on that and be like, well, baby, you are by yourself. You know this, right? Like it's you and it's everybody else in this world, but ultimately you're having this constant energy with yourself. So that's okay to feel that. So I had to coach myself with that feeling of being misunderstood, because I had to ask myself, do you understand you? Do you understand you? And I'm like, I understand me perfectly clear. So I don't understand the problem. We're not having a problem. But it's okay to catch that feeling, right? So these are the things that we were not taught. Nobody taught me that. I had to teach myself that. I had to go through the process of saying, I'm tired of nobody checking on me. I'm tired of not being checked on. So guess what that means? I need to check on me. I need to check on me a lot and often, because I'm tired of that's not being a thing that I'm experiencing in my life. So my thing now is, if it's something that I'm not experiencing in my life, it's not for me to force it from the outside in. It's for me to realize that there's an inside thing that I need to boom, turn on, so that now the energy is turning on inside of me, and it's no guesswork on the experiences that I'm having outside of myself. So yes, please check on yourself all the time, as much as you can check in. Okay. Any other questions before we roll out? It's 8:30. Thank you, my dear.
Gigi, just in terms of how the fixed signs are working right now,
Yep.
it's that we should try to lean more into whatever the energy of that fixed sign is.
Not necessarily lean into it as it is, pay attention to how it is presenting itself in your life, right? Like, what is it doing to you? Where is it talking to you? How is it talking to you? For example, where do you have Taurus in your chart?
I have Taurus in Lilith, North Node, and ninth house.
So Lilith, we know that's the wild energy, right? But we know Taurus also sometimes can be fixed in positions of how it feels. So this is now a thing about what is your idea when it comes down to being wild and being really into you? Is some of these things coming from the perspective of how you were raised, things that were passed down, right? How you're supposed to be and how you're supposed to proceed, because Taurus is prince, princess. So now it's you not being afraid to transform some areas where you may feel stuck when it comes down to not only your Lilith energy, which is the wild woman, but also you said your North Node too. So being more of a Taurus energy, so embodying more of being royal and regal, right? Getting somebody else to do it on one accord, right? But the other end of it is not being afraid to also put your hands in it and do the work. And we see that happening, but now it's just about you shifting a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Whatever has been working, keep it, but can we add a little bit more to it? And if you say, well, Gigi, add a little bit more, like what? The future energy, the futuristic stuff. So for example, we're just talking about writing, right? And it's time for you to write. Can we add some futuristic ideas to this? Can we start to envelop what does it look like for us to start to incorporate the idea of what the future could be, right? Not just from a scary perspective, but from a perspective where it makes us embody the energy, right? We do have some sci-fi stuff out here like that, but real stories, real stuff, real energy, right? So wherever your mind is going when it comes down to embodying this future energy, and not in just embodying it, meaning like putting it into your work, is something that you're actually learning from. It's something that you can kind of do, right? And also pulling from other resources that are around you, people who are pulling you in different ways that may look new. You like, I was never interested in that before. It's like, I know you wasn't interested in it, but we think you'll be great at it. You like, oh, that's what I mean about doing something different, right? It's like, because it's not the thing where you feel like you can control it or do the best, it's like you shine or shy away from it. And that's what I mean. Like, Taurus energy is always afforded to be around the greats. You're always in the room with people that people would die to be in a room with, right? And now these people want to teach you or do certain things with you or go along with you on it, but you feel like you don't know enough. I don't know enough about that topic yet. And they're like, yes, you do. Come in here. Take the responsibility and go in the room. Is it going to be a lot? Are you going to be given a lot of responsibility that you don't think you're ready for? Absolutely. But now's the time for that, because you're taking on the Taurus role. That's what the Taurus North Node is. And you said what house it was in again? 8th house? No, you didn't say 8th. Ninth house. So that is, and that's also like expansion. So this is education, teacher, student, expansion, travel. So now by doing this, saying yes to something that you don't necessarily know how to do all the way, or something that is maybe foreign and new to you, incorporate new skills. Now it's going to take you in places that you've never been, but you got to first say yes to it.
Okay.
So it's more so that it's more so, instead of looking at it as in the sense of, is looking at the area where it exists, looking at what you're currently doing there, and how can you do more? Because it's change. How can we change and do more?
Okay. Got it. Yeah, I'm sure I'm gonna email you a bunch of questions, because I have so much Aquarius and Scorpio. And my Scorpio is my Mars, my Pluto, my 3rd house. Like, that's why I was like, we doing what for 20? This is a lot of
I already knew. You looked at you like, wait a minute, because
I was like, but this is a lot going on. This is a lot of yeah, okay.
You're gonna be busy, but this is gonna be a real good 20 years for you. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be busy though. Yeah. Extremely.
All right.
Yes. So yes, email me all of it, baby. Just reach out and we talk about it all. Okay.
Okay. Thank
right.
you.
Okay. She said, I feel you, girl. Do you have any questions, ma'am? Are you probably at work? Sherry, any questions?
Hey, no,
Oh,
no,
yes,
I don't have any questions. Well, I do. Did you touch on the North Node Aquarius at all?
I did. Who said they had North Node Aquarius? Somebody said they did. But we can go
I
back
had
through it.
Leo.
No, we can go back. You said you had it, Princess?
It was Leo in the North Node.
Leo North Node. Okay. So Aquarius North Node, kind of similar, right? But anytime we're dealing with the North Node energy, we're dealing with the vehicle, the car you should be driving. Okay. So meaning like if you are going to from point A to point B, this vehicle makes you look like you're doing what you're supposed to do. Okay. So you should be in an Aquarius car. To be in an Aquarius car in the North Node perspective, dealing with the Pluto energy is to make sure that you are showing up in the futuristic energy that you are presenting. Okay. And what I mean by that is sometimes the Aquarius energy can be so futuristic, so aloof, so detached that it's not showing up at all. It's just hiding. You know what I'm saying? So the creativities of things that you have are the things that you've been wanting to do. And we've already talked about this already. Like, I feel like we just talked about this in our last session. But the things that you know that you should be doing outside of the things that you are currently doing for work is the things that the Aquarius energy is pulling out of you. It's pulling you more in your north to be more of that energy, to be more eclectic, to be more creative, right? To do all the things, to be in the community mindset of it, to whatever your mission and your purposes are, which we talked about, right? It's time for you to start to look like, what does those things look like in real time? So segueing out of feeling like you have to keep doing the 9 to 5 or stay in the lines of nursing or staying in the areas of healthcare and come into new age healing, right? You got the access. Aquarius energy is going to help you to have the access. We all have the access to this. So all those things and how they show up.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. You're welcome. What you finna say? Somebody else said something.
What about South Node? And is in Aquarius.
South Node is it's like where you came from, right? So Princess, I think North Node was in Leo, which makes your North Node in Leo too. So both of y'all North Nodes are the same, right? That Leo energy in that first house dynamic, right? So that's still a fixed sign you need to pay attention to. The opposite end of that, South Nodes, is where we left. So last life, you was more Aquarius energy, right? So where we left off from last life usually shows us where we didn't necessarily get the lesson all the way. So meaning like some parts of your Aquarius energy, you was probably misunderstood, probably didn't get a chance to do all the gifts and talents or didn't do as much community involvement as you wanted to because you was hiding from the energy, hiding from feeling misunderstood or feeling like somebody wasn't necessarily seeing you as they should. So your rebellious energy didn't give you the opportunity to do everything that you needed to do. So now when you think about the Aquarius energy, you have to operate it in Aquarius energy that you need to detach from, let go from. Okay. So your thing is detaching from being too futuristic, detaching from being too aloof or being too disconnected. So remember those keywords that we talked about today from the Aquarius energy that was on the negative side. The South Node energy presents itself more on the negative sides of those Aquarius energy. So distant, aloof, disconnected, you know what I'm saying? Not talking, non-communicating. All those spaces that you can find yourself inside of, that Aquarius is doing when it is trying to rebel, is because of the pain that you experienced in last life. What experience was that? Again, experience from community. You wanting to either put yourself in the community mindset or work in that space and it didn't work out, or you did do it and because of your lack of not necessarily being as bold and being as courageous and doing the things that you needed to do, you fell short. And falling short in the Aquarius energy means to separate yourself from the world. I don't like people. Okay. So if you find yourself saying you don't like people, that's that South Node Aquarius talking, and that's the part we need to work on.
I've made that comment a couple of times, so I would
I'm sure.
definitely
I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. We all have, okay? But understand that when we do, that is mean we're hiding, okay? We don't want to deal with the truth of ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But yeah, so just work on that South Node, and it's going to help you to just disconnect. Again, you are transforming, disconnecting, letting go all the negative sides of the Aquarius in the South Node. And use that Leo North Node to help you. The more you stand in that Leo North Node and courageous part and do all the Leo part of it, which is the other side that fix, it makes it easier to deal with the Aquarius energy. Because the Aquarius wants to hide, but Leo is supposed to be out. So if you're being out, then the Aquarius can't hide. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that goes the same for you, Princess, because your Aquarius is also in your South Node because you have Leo North Node too. Okay. All right. Okay. No questions. Going once. Going twice.
Hey Gigi, this is Sherry. I
Hey,
got a
Sherry.
quick question.
Okay.
So my Leo is in North Node, as well as my Aquarius being in the 5th house, which I saw. Well, I don't have any planets there, but I do have Aquarius in the 5th house, which is in Leo. So does that mean I need to be extra, extra, extra?
When you can, baby. Yes, ma'am. You know what I'm saying? Maybe go and get you a big old blonde afro wig, baby, and walk out the house and just shake your shoulders every time you step out. Extra, extra, extra. Yeah, you need to put it on. It's just about, because you have no direct planets there, it's just about telling you to embrace the energy, right? Leo is very fun. When it is happy, when Leo is happy, Leo is fun. Leo is bright. It's wearing gold and bangles and big hair, and you know what I'm saying, a dress that flows, a gold dress. So it's like, it's just being almost like being in on the stage, but treating life as it's a stage, right? Not taking no for an answer when it comes down to using every opportunity that you can to just be your own biggest cheerleader. I love using Soldier Boy as an example because, baby, it don't get no better. There is not a better Leo out here in this world, okay, that can show you how to body that thing. He don't care who give him a clap. Every time he comes on, he's doing his stuff. Man, I got this just came out, man. Look at that. Look how beautiful that is, man. I took all my time today. And you know what else I got? Man, I got this and I got this. It's like he don't care. He is living in his creativity and the creativity of the childlike energy. Again, Leo is responsible for teaching the children. That's why the kids go back to school at the start of the Leo season, because it is how we train our inner child, aka our kids, right? So whatever energy that you have that's fun and big and bold and creative, and let's use our hands and do arts and crafts, it's all that stuff. Okay, so embodying that energy and allowing yourself to live in that energy of Leo is so fun. But not only is it so fun, it teaches other people that are around you how to remain in their bigness, how to shine, and how to constantly shine. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
I just have one last question. I'm sorry. I got a question for clarity. So you know how you said our houses, like the 7th house, is related to relationships.
Yep.
But if your moon is in your 7th house, does that mean that the sign that's in your 7th house, the sign that okay, so my moon is in Gemini. Yep. Does that mean that Gemini is also in my 7th house?
That's exactly what that means.
Okay.
So if your moon is your emotions, right? It is in the house of relationships. What does that mean? Don't even think too hard about it. Just connect them.
That I have no idea.
That means emotionally, you are attached to your relationships. Your emotions are inside of your relationship. You have heavy emotions in your relationships, right? So and it also means that you're going to learn your biggest emotional maturity in relationships, because everything that's in that relationship house is your emotional balance, your emotional health and wellness is coming from the experiences that you have in the 7th house.
Thank you.
So like for me, my Venus is in my 7th house. So I'm constantly learning love and expressing love in relationships every time I get in it. So from when I overdo, I have to learn. When I underdo, like everything that I am learning as it relates to love comes to me through relationships. So that's the reason why I have them and want to have them. But then when I don't have them, I'm good, because it's also Aquarius too. So my brain like, it's too much. I have to think. I have to feel. I have to be emotional when I didn't really even want to be. So it's like I am so Aquarius when I turn into a relationship. It scares me because I have an Aquarius child and baby comes out of me all the time. I'm like, did I do this? So no, that's the energy, is making sure that you can start to see the pattern. So yes, your moon sits in your 7th house of relationships. Okay. Any more? We sure did. With it, I love that for us because last time you was complaining about it's the new year and you supposed to be partying somewhere anyway. So I'm glad you got your 2-hour class today, Monique. Are you happy? Are you satisfied today?
I am, because I missed you last time, because the thing with your daddy, and I was like, I really miss her, so I'm really enjoying this.
Well, me too. I'm glad we had our 2 hours today too. So we're gonna have another class. We'll never have another class next month. Of course, getting on into the nitty-gritty of this thing, because this first 3 months is going to be a lot. Okay, so it's going to be important that y'all study. It's going to be important that y'all ask questions. Please use your resources. That is me. Okay, ask as much as you can, and don't forget to use time passages. Again, when you go into time passages, you can always see what is currently happening in your aspects right and now. Okay, so I mean, if you go into them, you go into your daily horoscope, and it gives you that right now. These are all the aspects. This first top part is all of today's influences, and the bottom is the long-term influence. So these are things that are in there for like a month or two. You know what I'm saying? But all these things, and then when you click on them, they give you actual descriptions of things. It tells you where your transiting sun is. It tells you exactly what's going on, and then it gives you description. It tells you what's happening. This planetary energy flows together, opens into new possibilities and new connections. This brief transit lasts for only a few days, gives you positive energy, enabling greater self-expression and a generalized sense of well-being. If you want to know and have extra keywords or things to look at for studying, it is right in your app. Time Passages is free. So you can free download it, put your information in. As a matter of fact, if you're working with me, you're supposed to already have it anyway. I don't know why you don't have it. Okay. So go in there and then you can arrow down into your next aspects. Just keep going into your aspects, and it's going to let you know everything that you could be looking at. Okay. Oh, you found it? Perfect. And then you can also, if you got got partners that you want to study and stuff like that too, you can also go in and add their charts. Like my daughter's in my chart. So every day I go not only look at my stuff, I look at my child's too. I want to see what's going on with her. So before she even called me and be like, I'd be like, girl, your moon is activating today. Okay. So I need you to go breathe. And I'd be like, her moon is in Capricorn. I'd be like, girl, the moon is in Capricorn. Like, that's what's going on. And then she go right in and she started reading it. So having your children or your family members that you have to communicate with and work with into your chart is really important. Okay. Okay. I got you. All right. So time passages. You got those of you that have your 2024 chart, look at those too. You know what I'm saying? You got plenty of resources to make sure that you are studying and doing stuff until we get back together next month. Okay. All right, I'm gonna stop recording. Monique said she gotta ask me something, so I'm gonna stop recording because obviously she don't want it to be on the recording. So it better not be something that you gonna be being accountable for, because I'm gonna put that record back on. All right, hold on.